Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Show. Really nice to have your company. Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to bring our guest for today straight on because it's a Wednesday. We do like to talk about subjects of health and well-being, as we talk about an awful lot on a Wednesday. Seems to be, that's my lovely producer. That's my girlfriend bringing me. Thank you so much. There we go. Sorry about that. Well, I'm not, but anyway, I'm not sorry at all. Let's bring our lovely guest on, Liz Sharp. Hello there. How are you?
Hello, Neil. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Nice to meet you. Whereabouts are you based, Liz?
I'm near Southend in Essex.
I used to work there.
Did you?
In Southend, yes. When Essex FM was Essex FM, and it was based in Southend. Then it moved to Chelmsford. Then it became Hart. But so way back in the day. But yeah, right. They had an office right on the front, very near the fairground.
Oh yeah. No, I know it was being in Cliftown Road when it used to be there, I think, or somewhere
That's
like
right.
it. But yeah. There you
Cliftown. Yes,
Something
you're
like
right. No, you're right. You're right.
Blast
I
from the
remember
past.
the name. I remember the name of the road. I also locked myself out one morning at 4 a.m. because I went up for a cigarette, and it's the nightmare that all DJs have. Lock yourself, and I actually did it. I'd left my lanyard in the studio, and the door shut behind me, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm screwed." So anyway, I didn't bring you on to reminisce about my ridiculous mistakes in my radio career. Liz Sharp, welcome to the Midday Show. Tell us what you do.
So I'm a counsellor and
Right.
hypnotherapist and some other stuff. And I work with two types of clients, basically, which is people that are recovering from cardiac disease, so heart attacks and stents and bypasses and all this stuff, cardiac arrest and all the rest of it goes with it. And the other side of my business is working with people that want to change their relationship with alcohol.
Let's do those both. Let's do those both one by one. So anything heart related, even I mean, having a stent is pretty serious, but there's steps you can do to. I suppose we don't think about it until it goes wrong. We do very little preventative maintenance, don't we? So I suppose this is where you come in and say, right, if you do this, then from here on in, you can maintain better cardiac health.
No, not so much that. It's more about when people have had a heart attack or a cardiac arrest or whatever, valve replacement, then it plays with your emotions. And sometimes
Right.
you get stressed and anxious and worried about the future or losing your confidence, can't face going back to work or whatever it is. And that's why I come in to see if we can have a chat to deal with some of the difficult emotions that come up, because nobody expects it. You don't decide to yourself, I'm going to schedule a heart attack in 8 months' time.
No.
It comes as a bolt from the blue, and it plays with your emotions at times for some people.
Yes, I suppose that fear of it happening again
Yeah,
can be absolutely crippling, can't it?
it can. Yeah.
And it could shut someone right down, couldn't it? So then you come in and open them up again, so to speak.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Using hypnotherapy or a variety of tools?
Normally just counselling, normally talking. So I'm affiliated with the local hospitals. So I'm part of the rehab team and the cardiac arrest team for talking to people, patients that are having a bit of a difficult time. So
Yeah. And it can be healed up with talk therapy. I mean, how would you approach rebuilding someone's confidence after a knockback like that?
So the rehab teams are generally fantastic in the cardiac unit. Definitely couldn't do it without the NHS there. But in terms of helping people come to terms with the fact of what's happened, get used to maybe lifestyle changes. So some people have to decide to stop smoking or change their stress levels at work or whatever it is, and help people come to terms with it. Sometimes it will trigger grief because somebody you know and loved died of a heart disease before, and that will trigger it for yourself, or fear of dying, or it really does come up with a big multitude of things to think about.
I can imagine, and it must be things that people thought they maybe dealt with years ago and haven't thought about for years, and then suddenly all these old feelings are coming up, and it's like, oh my God, my old fear of death is coming up. Where's that come from? I thought I dealt with you. I can imagine. I can well imagine, actually. So
And then you could also think about, so for instance, I don't know, a 45-year-old man who's had a heart attack, who's got a couple of young kids, and he was Superman. He was invincible because that's how we all believe about ourselves. And then suddenly the invincibility cape's been nicked off you.
it means human
And
just
you
like
get
everyone
back up.
else.
and he's human like everyone else, and he's got to deal with young family, getting back to work and the stresses of that, and the fear of not being around maybe, or lifestyle changes. If your health's had a knock and you can't, not as fit and able as you were, then
I
it all
mean,
comes in.
it's not anyone's fault in the sense that the very society we're born into and conditioned into, most of the Western world, it's go, 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 go. And I would say, particularly for men as well, got to be the best, got to be competent, got to be on top of everything, got to have all the answers. And as I get older and hopefully a little bit wiser, that's just ain't so. I've still got many questions and answers I need to find. It's sort of an unfolding process, isn't it?
Mm.
And I went through that stage of thinking I should have all the answers, and all that did was lead to burnout and me feeling really crap about myself that I didn't have this giant S on my chest. So lifestyle, I mean, we could do with a lifestyle change all around the Western world, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
In this way that avoids burnout. I'm not saying people shouldn't work. I'm not saying people shouldn't do jobs they love. I'm not saying people shouldn't earn great money. None of that. But it's just the way we're going about it. Go, 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 compete. Got to have all the answers. Got to be on top of everything all the time. Got to be done perfectly. And now, in fact, yesterday, it just doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then as you're doing that, your heart rate's going faster and your blood pressure's going up, and you're putting pressure on your body, and all of the medical stuff that the rehab team talk about. So yeah, it all ties in with it.
And then the body, I heard someone say, it was quite a wise person. I thought it was quite wise. First there's like a little tiny bit of gravel being thrown at your window. Then it's a stone. And if you don't notice that, then the universe will drop a brick on your head to wake you up. You know what I mean? Do some people see it as a wake-up call and go, oh, my goodness me, I've realised I've been doing this for years and this is the wake-up call I needed? Do people ever say that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in terms of if you're hitting a bit of a brick wall, it can make you reevaluate stuff. And so people that have gone on to, I don't know, train for marathons and all the rest of it. Or lifestyle changes, or leave jobs, or decide to just do things differently. Because ultimately, when you're faced with the question of your health and you're deciding how you want things to be in the future, or do you want things to stay the same? Was it all okay? Yeah, it's all up in the air with you.
I can't imagine many people. I think most people deep down, even before it happens, think they probably need to make changes. It's maybe just the kick up the backside that they need, in my opinion, because I know what human beings are like. We're stubborn, and we often don't do anything until our hand is well and truly forced. And it's like your body going, okay, I've asked you nicely. Now I'm going to get your attention. And it doesn't have to be that way, of course, with new thinking and the strategies that you teach, which maybe we should all learn from the very beginning. How did you get into this, Liz?
So longer story. So my dad passed away, and he had a lifelong history of NHS and heart problems and all that sort of thing, and did really fantastically to die of old age, basically, the age of 83. He should have gone years before, so it was fantastic to see he stuck around. And I basically had a choice. I could either raise money for charity, because I did that when my mum passed, or just in the universe chuck out a thought of, well, maybe I'll do something to help people with heart disease in the future, just do a bit of volunteering. And then the universe did kick in. I was chatting to a guy who had had a cardiac arrest, and Basildon Hospital or EMSE Trust were putting on an event for the most people with a cardiac arrest under the same roof at the same time. And the Guinness Book of Records attempt was something like 6 at the time. And they'd had so many people say yes that it went up to 127. And people were coming down from Scotland and travelling and all the rest of it. So they then decided they better do something with all these people and their family and their friends that are turning up. So I went along to do workshops on stress and anxiety. And that sort of thing, and then went from there, really. So it's there's in case any of your listeners have had a cardiac arrest, there's a group called Sudden Cardiac Arrest UK, which is a fantastic charity, and that's where it all went from. And then I started working alongside my local hospitals, and then went into the rehab team.
It's amazing how quickly and easily these things unfold once you put the thought out there. I don't know if we're talking universe or manifesting or whatever you want to call it. Everyone talks about it. Everyone's got, but it does seem that way, doesn't it? Sometimes it's just everything just comes together in a way that you couldn't orchestrate, no matter how hard you tried, and you just take the next step, and it's great when things happen that way, isn't it? Because they do.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. So some of the people I met there were really struggling with getting back on with life after their cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
And yeah, so realizing that there might be a bit of a role for therapy and for counselling and for someone to talk to that's not family and friends.
It must feel so good to be able to help people like that. I mean, it's a real gift you're giving to the world, be able to help people after a knockback like that, and to be understanding and not judgmental, and not to say, oh, because family and friends can be a bit, well, I told you so, which isn't always the most helpful, is it?
It's not, and it's not always the person's fault, because there's also biological reasons why things happen as well, and nothing to do with
Biological
lifestyle.
reasons, societal reasons that we've talked about.
Yeah.
It's just the environment. We're all products of our environment. But I'm glad that the conversation is opening up an awful lot more, and we're going, wait a minute.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There must be better ways. So that's part of what you do, and changing your relationship with alcohol.
So that was more my original theme for work. So I've done that since I qualified as a counsellor. But yeah, people sometimes decide that they might have a drink in the hand a bit more than they would choose, and want to do something about it. And again, family and friends are either helpful or unhelpful at that point, because everyone around you has a relationship with drink as well. And again, providing a space to help people think about strategies or why that drink is in their hand.
Now, alcohol's a weird one. I read one of my little guilty pleasures is reading the problem page in the Daily Star. I do a morning radio show, so I buy the Daily Star. And there was this terrible letter into Just Jane, Dear Jane. And it was a woman who had given up drinking for 6 months, and her friends, so-called, invited her out and put a drink in front of her and said, if you don't drink that, we're not going to be your friends anymore.
Yeah.
And it struck me that alcohol is, or I thought this for a while, is the only drug you get judged for not taking. Even though the science is out. David Nutt did the study commissioned by the government. They didn't like the findings, so they fired him. You probably know about this one. And he did, I'm sure you know about it already, but for the benefit of our listeners, he did the study on what the most dangerous drugs were, legal and illegal, in society, and scored them out of 100. Cannabis scored 20. Above that is like your cocaine and heroin, but the most dangerous one of the lot, I'm not saying cocaine and heroin are good, but the most dangerous one of the lot was alcohol, and it's legal and it's weaved into every fabric of our society. Lose a job, have a drink. Get a job, get a drink. Split up with someone, have a drink. Get a date, have a drink. Have a good day, have a drink. Have a bad day, have a drink. And it's also society's perception around it, because I bet if I was on the school run and I went to pick up my little one from school, I mean, she's 30 now, that's not likely to happen. But if I did, and I said, oh, nearly wine o'clock, they'd pat me on the back. If I said, I can't wait to go home and have a spliff, can you imagine? And yet, that's 5 times less harmful to me and society than drinking that night would be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I'd 100% go down that route, because I know it does cause psychosis and all the rest of it. But absolutely, alcohol with getting in the car afterwards and
hang on a minute. I'm not saying that cannabis is necessarily good. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I hear it, but yeah, you definitely can't announce in the school gate.
Statistically, it's 5 times less dangerous than alcohol for personal use and in the wider society, like drinking and driving or something like that. That's what the science said. I'm not saying you go out and get stoned. Just to put a disclaimer in there.
But alcohol's fascinating. So in terms of that problem page where the friend says have a drink, it's because if somebody stops drinking, stops smoking, takes up exercise, whatever it is, it forces the people around you to evaluate your lifestyle. Actually, because if they've had to quit, then, well, what does that say about me? And some of the challenges so people that have been drinkers and very social with the football club or the Saturday night or whatever it is, if they go sober, they have to sometimes realise or work out a way to either be alongside that crowd or cope within that environment of everyone having a drink, or look for some alternative ways to spend a bit of time as well.
I mean, you try telling the average football fan that loves a good few beers on a Friday night to stand there with all his mates and drink tonic water, because we so associate it with sociability and pleasure. But thinking about it, drinking ethanol has got nothing to do with sociability. The state it puts you into can be sociable for a while, and it's got nothing really to do with pleasure. It is a neurotoxin, and yet, I mean, I have a drink. I'm not saying I don't. I go through stages of drinking more than I should, but then when I decide to give it up, I don't. I mean, just having 3 pints in the night when I should only have one. But then I go, nah, I don't want to do this. I feel fuzzy the next day. But I've also, for me, I'm lucky. I've got I'm not addicted. I've got a neural pathway. I can go, nope, don't want it. Don't want it. And I'm quite just as happy not drinking. Vaping, however, I'm totally hooked on. Got any tips there? I've changed my relationship with nicotine. Yeah, when we're talking about alcohol. So what do you do with the person that goes, I'll never have any fun. I'll never have any fun. What my mate's going to say.
So it's a balance. It's always people's choice about whether they drink or don't drink. And I'm not a sort of sober coach. I sort of go from whatever the person wants. It's all fine for me. In terms of the person who is trying to decide whether or not to cut down their drink, it's about looking at the sort of the decision balance. So, for instance, in terms of vaping, you're right there.
I'm fine, sorry.
That's right. But if it was about vaping, it's about then saying, is the cough worth it? Or actually, am I enjoying it enough? And then sometimes there'll be a swing of balance that says, actually, I'm not enjoying this. And for the drinker who says, no, I really enjoy drinking, it's not a problem. Absolutely fine, no problem. But if they're waking up and then struggling at work the next day, or their partner's saying, for God's sake, well, you're coming in steaming every Saturday and I don't really like you when you're drunk, etc. And it's about the decision balance that says, is this costing me or is it okay?
It's the cost benefit thing. I mean, I know many people that can drink sociably and are absolutely fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not saying there's not. I've also had one of my closest friends drink himself to death.
Absolutely.
And it can do that. And another very close friend nearly do it. And he's still with us now, but he's still here, but he's not. It's taken its toll, shall we say, very, very seriously. I mean, it's aged him about 20 years. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going with that. I think we have to remember it is an addictive drug. It's all weaved in with these associations, isn't it, of pleasure and success, sexiness, coolness, and all this sort of thing. But really, it's an addictive drug, and the most dangerous one we have in society, and legal most of the time.
Absolutely. And there's a big difference also between the youth of today. If their mate says, I'm not having a drink, everyone goes, all right, then you're not drinking. And that's it. They accept it far more. Or there's far more sober 18, 20, 25-year-olds.
Aren't there?
Our generation is much different.
Is?
I did some sort of research into it. Sometimes it's money because, going out is expensive. Sometimes it's because...
No, they just use the art of pre-drinking for that. I've got a daughter.
Well, yeah, there's the pre-drinking. But there's also the not wanting to be on the gram, drunk and chucking up and having it all the evidence. So, there wasn't any social evidence years ago when people had hangover.
Do you think it's a fear of being shamed that...
the control thing, absolutely. That's going to be part of it.
Interesting, because it's never fun, is it? I mean, I've been in pubs where fights have started, or people are chucking up outside. It's not fun, or people are crying. It's not fun anymore. I mean, we always get a little bit tipsy. That can be fun in balance, but that's not fun.
Yeah, and if you could imagine that, I don't know, when you're in Clifftown Road or in Essex, and they pictured you all over the local news chucking up after your gig or whatever into the bush, then it would affect your career. But now, but then we didn't.
It would. I never affected my career in that way. Locking myself out nearly did, but but no, I was pretty well behaved. There was a massive pub. I think it was maybe a Spoons just down the road. I seem to remember this massive rowdy pub. That I seem to remember, with lots of very
my office is opposite there, so that's why I see clients. So,
really?
Yeah.
Well, You got a good client pool.
So I know it.
You can grab them when they come out of the pub. You ever thought about changing your relationship with alcohol? Are you busy? I mean, I can imagine you are. There must be a load of people that want to do these things. You must be really busy.
So January, in terms of lots of people decided 1st of January to do dry Jan. And then there's, biological reasons sometimes why it's not possible just to quit, and people give up dry Jan, realizing it's quite hard for some people if you've got the physical or habitual addiction. So that's where sometimes the phone starts ringing, sort of middle of January onwards, as people are recognizing it's a bit tougher.
Just picking up on something you said there, if someone has a dependency on it, that's going to be different. And a dependency is almost the body thinking it needs it, or you can't feel normal without it.
You can die. It's the only drug that you can die from if you quit suddenly and you're addicted. So giving up heroin or cocaine or cannabis, you're not going to die. Alcohol, you can go into seizures, and if you're physically addicted. So if anyone's felt shaky or sweaty or seeing things that aren't there, then it's about getting some medical attention if you've just suddenly quit.
I mean, I've shook the next morning a bit. That's low dopamine, isn't it?
No, it's a chemical thing as well. So in terms of how the brain works, in giving you the metabolization, the DTs and that sort of thing. So
delirium tremens.
Absolutely.
I've never seen things that aren't there, and I don't want to give the impression that I'm a big drinker or a recovering alcoholic. I'm not, but I have. What was the other thing you said? Shaking.
So there's a whole thing. It's
sweating. That was it. Yeah.
Shaking. It's the coming out of your system. So I mean, in terms of some of the common ways to, common places to get a detox, for instance, is maybe an older adult who is used to drinking their wine every 6 o'clock, and they don't believe they've got a problem, but they suddenly break their hip, go into hospital, and actually have to have a bit of a detox because their body is used to having that wine turn up at 6 o'clock at night. And it's the habitualness that goes in with the whole, it's 6 o'clock, I have a drink at this time. And then your brain goes, oh, well, it's 6 o'clock, so we better produce the hormones to deal with this alcohol that's going to turn up. And then the alcohol doesn't turn up, and you can get a bit shaky and a bit sweaty, and it can kind of build up over the next 3 days. And
is this physical or psychological addiction?
This is about physical. This is about physical that can go on.
This is purely physical. If someone's got a physical dependency.
Yeah. So if you look at the fact there's 168 hours in a week, and there's 10 units in a bottle of wine. So somebody that's drinking a bottle of wine every night is up to 70. Chuck in there a couple of spirits, maybe, then you may be up to 80, 90, etc. And it's
that's a lot of units, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, the NHS is 14 they recommend, isn't it now?
They do.
Used to be 14 for women and 21 for men, didn't it? But they changed it to 14, which is essentially a pint a day.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. Okay, moving.
It's about harm minimization. So it's not about, they're saying that if it's over 14, then, you're risking your harm to health. And it's about leaving a couple of days to give your livers a couple of bit of a break from processing alcohol and only processing water and all of that stuff. That's where the recommendations come in from.
Yeah. So it's obviously easier to do to help someone change. No, let me rephrase that. Is it easier to deal with a physical addiction or a psychological one?
So physical, people need medical support as well. So you can cut down slowly with advice from your doctor and all of the disclaimers that go in there. But psychological can be just as tough, because if you, I don't know, for instance, I talk to people about having 4 reasons why the drink's in your hand. So sometimes it's habitual. It's Sunday, you always have a bottle of wine on a Sunday. Got a Sunday roast there. If you open a bottle, you finish a bottle, and it's all of the habitual stuff that goes on. Sometimes it can be about triggers. So a good day at work, bad day at work, somebody's birthday, somebody else having a drink. Sometimes it's about emotions: happy, sad, angry, bored, low, numb, frustrated, pissed off, whatever. And sometimes it's about sort of a family link where, you've learned it and all of that sort of stuff. So they're all things that are reason why that drink is in your hand. If you've always
Because
watched your dad have a
yeah,
drink when he's, angry, then, that's
then
what the
that's
kids
what you
learn.
that's what you learn. That's what you absorbed almost by osmosis, isn't it?
Mm.
I think I'm just thinking of the best way to phrase this. People. No, it comes to me. I'll find the way to phrase it. So I've got a load of words. I'm trying to put them in the right order in my mind. So what were those 4 reasons again? Run that by me again.
So you got the habit. So Sunday you always have a drink. You got the trigger. Losing a job, whatever. Somebody else drinking.
That was
Emotions.
it. Emotions. That's what I wanted to pick up on. Yeah.
And also the emotional stress bucket of life. The divorces, the bereavements, the traumas, and that can lead.
Well, this is what we do. We drink to numb, or take any drug really, or overwork, or pick your poison, to numb feelings that we don't want to feel. And yet, what sort of I've been learning from some pretty good teachers recently is that you have to feel your emotions. In fact, the quicker you're willing to feel them, the quicker they pass. Feel it to heal it, if you want a fridge magnet pithy phrase. And I've read some stories from people that have recovered from very serious alcohol use, and they said the best thing about giving up alcohol is all your emotions come back, and the worst thing about giving up
absolutely
is all your emotions come back, and it's all the stuff you haven't. But it's so easy to do, isn't it? It's so easy just to have a couple of pints and drink away your sorrows. I get it. I've done it in the past. Who hasn't? Who amongst us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all part of the thing, and it's also far more common than you realise in terms of people that have a drink to cope or to live or to whatever. So yes, there are people out there that can just absolutely just enjoy having a drink, and there's nothing wrong with that, or their lifestyle or anything like that. But if you're doing it to cope or to manage or to deal with, then maybe have a look at dealing with that, and then you can still have a drink, but you're not carrying all the stuff around that says
it's not so much what you're doing, it's why you're doing it, isn't it? If you're using alcohol, you're going out, you're using a bit of alcohol, having fun, and you're totally in control, no issue at all. But if you're using it to numb things, or sitting there drinking alone, crying into your pint, that it's not so much what you're doing, it's why you're doing it, isn't it? And like you say, maybe dealing with the reasons of why you're doing it, then you remove the cause, and then there is no effect to worry about. It's getting it at cause, isn't it? This is fascinating, Liz. Well, you're certainly doing some brilliant work. I'm mindful of your time, so thank you so much. You got a busy afternoon?
No, children. Catching up with friends this afternoon. So
Oh, fantastic.
Going out for lunch and having a nice afternoon.
Are you going to that big pub that I used to go? No,
I'm not going to the big pub.
No, I don't think I'm not in a rush to go back there either. What I'll do, Liz, I'll send you the footage of this.
Okay.
So if you would like to slice and dice it and use it for any shameless marketing purposes, as seen on the Midday Show, you're absolutely free to do that. And
Lovely.
We'd be delighted. Thank you so much for being on. Let me just pop your website on the screen quickly. Un momento. I do all my own production here. So it's, remind me, it's liveyourlifetherapies.com. And there's a link from that into my heart one, my cardiac one, but right. It's a harder one to type. Okay. Liveyourlifetherapies.com. You've got a good domain name there. Good domain.
I love it. Do you want to know why I started with that name? It's because really quickly, I'm going to tell you anyway. Now.
No, I didn't mean to say no. I mean no. Yes, I do. Sorry, forgive me. No, I don't. Go away.
Slid out your mouth. No, when my mum died, and I was in the garden having a fag, and deciding that life is too short, and that's where Live Your Life Therapies came from.
Well, it's true though, isn't it? It's. I think the older I get, the more I realise you really got to appreciate every minute, because maybe that's something we all learn as we go through this journey. Well, I'm delighted our paths have crossed.
Likewise.
Liz, thank you so much for being on. All the
No problem.
W's, liveyourlifetherapies.com. Oh, we just got some comments. I haven't seen these. There we go. Philip says, hello, Neil, and welcome, Liz. Sue Sleet, morning from a sunny Fife. Philip says, watch TV shows like A Place in the Country. Great house, such a lovely patio to have a glass of wine and a G&T. And there we go. There's another association, isn't it?
The Chase is very popular for drinking as well.
Is that right?
A lot of people have to cope with the Chase, yeah.
A fine line between social and responsible drinking, next stage of functional alcoholic, and then out of control, abusive, aggressive, says Liz. Ian says, don't drink, smoke, vape, do drugs. It's good to be boring. Ian, you live in Surbiton. Nothing could ever be boring in Surbiton. He constantly mocks me for living in New Malden, which he calls Mordor, which is most offensive. And Dave Aisley, greetings one and all. Liz, I'll let you go. Have a lovely afternoon with your friends.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks for being on the Midday Show. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
See ya. There we go. Live Your Life Therapies, game on. liveyourlifetherapies.com. Just a short show today. Russ will be back on Friday with the King of the Cravat, Phil Dave, and the lovely Chantal Ricards telling you all the things to watch on TV. Recommend Runaway, by the way, on Netflix, and also His and Hers. Really, really good, very thrilling, very twisty and turny, very, very binge watchable. And if anyone here would like to come to my comedy night on Friday, it's in Walton on the Hill. And I'll give you a discount as well. Anyone apart from me and in Surbiton. No, that's a joke. Ian, I'd actually love to meet you in person, actually, after all this verbally abusing each other over the metaphorical garden fence. But yeah, just hit me up on the socials if you fancy doing that. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Midday Show. Friday, and of course, Jonathan Bass, the theatre critic, will be there as well. Russ and Phil and Chantal and Jonathan with a good magazine-esque Friday show, and I'll see you Monday with Russ Kane. Meantime, this is the Midday Show signing off. Good afternoon, and have a great afternoon, whatever you're doing. Cheesy smile to